Nerd Rubits, what's up? Little Big Rubits back with a video for you. This time, I'm looking at something I looked at before. So this is kind of a two-parter video. Not two-parter, but I'm not just looking at this toy, but another toy I got in the past. I'll actually link to a review I gave of this previous, this one right here, this previous, I guess it's called a Celestial Warrior, sold by this group, this cheap bot manufacturer out of China called Zenzing. Anyway, it's basically a little transformer, but they're only 20 something bucks, 20 bucks. They're really tall. And I'm going to definitely customize this one. The transformation is pretty silly. I probably won't do it. It'll be in the review for this one. But I wanted to I grabbed a white one, and I think what I'm going to do is customize both of them. For 20 bucks, you get I'll show you here, you get a really nice little, pretty darn cool robot. I'm going to keep that box. So I just got this delivered the other day. Oh, geez. I mean, you can see how much plastic you get for $20. It's kind of amazing what China does. I understand how they do it. We've had this discussion a million times, but you can hear it's got ratcheted parts, which is fantastic. Almost every joint is ratcheted. So it's really posable, and it holds the pose. It's not the most, let's say, oh, am I missing the tip? There you go. So it's not the, the most detailed, coolest robot in the world, but for a little project, like a little customization project, which I'll show you in a second, it's going to be awesome. Snap that in there. Like, yeah, there we go. So you get the legs. Pop, 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 pop. You get the arms, pop, pop, pop. And there's the fists and everything. Now, all this can come off. It's screwed together. These are the claw legs. I'll show that in a minute. Here's a gun, which I'll never ever use. So I'll just put that in a box of customization parts. Everything screws together, which is really nice whenever you are customizing stuff and you want to take it apart. When you can just pop those screws out. What's cool about that is if you want, you pop those screws out, and when you're getting ready to paint it, maybe pop them back in and then seal those behind. I don't care that there's holes there. It is a giant robot. It's fictitious, so who knows? There could be an explanation for that. But essentially, they transform into the lion thing. I don't think it gives you instructions, does it? Yeah, it didn't even come with instructions, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it does. That's good because I didn't want to transform it anyway, so I'm going to use it as an excuse. But you can see how it does it. The little paws come down, and I'm not going to. But you get some extra little bits here that you can use in other customizations and stuff. But again, for 20 something dollars, it's just literally just so ridiculous. Anyway, if you go to that site, you know what I'll do is I'll link to them, to that toy company. They have a whole ton of really dirt cheap Transformers. Now, you can't necessarily find them all for sale. And when you search for the company, it's kind of hard to find them in a storefront. I found their website, but there's no real contact unless it's like a WhatsApp or something like that. So that's a little unfortunate because I wanted to ask them, where else can I buy the rest of them? I want all of them. There's like 6 of them for 20 bucks a pop. And like I said, you got this nice skirt, so you get a lot of posability and stuff. You don't get a ton out of the feet and all that. But what's interesting is the calf to transform it has this pose thing in there, so that'll help. You can't do so much with the feet, but the leg, the lower part of the leg rotates and stuff. So, and as you can hear, all the little ratchety stuff, so it's going to hold a nice pose, And really, it's just a really fun looking, kind of an impressive shelf piece. So let me show you what I've done though, because it's not really a review. It's more of kind of talking about doing a customization here. So here is the old one I had. I bought the purple one. Boy, lots of cat hair. You leave some scent for like a day and it gets infected with cat hair. So you can see what I've done is I've literally taken it all to bits. So here's some arm, leg. This is going to be the leg. Yes. So I took it down to what would be kind of like the inner frame. So I could hit that up with the paints. The forearm, again, you can see the nice ratcheted sound. What I had to do is to take off the fists because the fists are hideous. I kept them. They're these really basic fists. I mean, you could repaint these and they'd be fine. But I was like, no, I'm going to put something else on it. So I went and found some fists that I prefer, which came from, these are Gargoyles fists. So you can see how much better, once I get that mounted in there, how much cooler that will look. So now that I've got it taken apart, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically give it a nice flat coat or like a primer, probably white. If not, I have some gray. The gray I have is not great, so probably white. It's nice chalky white. And I'm going to do my classic gunmetal paint, which I just absolutely adore. It's my favorite paint job. It's easy to do. You get a lot done with it. So this is the head, as you can see. What's really cool is you can easily take the face off of the front. And let me show you how. So you see that big ball joint there? I'm going to cut that off. Oops, stand up now. And then you get these cool, these are really, really cool parts. This would be cool on the shoulders. Look at that. You could mount them on the shoulders of like a Space Marine type. Those would look cool. And as a matter of fact, I've got the NFL robot I might use to customize and put these on his shoulders. That would be wicked. And look here, you don't have to break them all apart. They just have somebody sitting there screwing these things together all day. You just screw that apart. Let me see, where's my screwdriver I was using for this? Hang on, let me grab one. Well, this is not the right screwdriver, but this will work. So you just simply screw any part, anything apart you want, which is what's so great about some of these toys. You can, if you're customizing, they're just really easy to take apart. So let's get that part. See if I can pop that out. I might need something else removed here. Let's see. There we go. So now I've got that like mount, and you could see you could mount it on a shoulder. I don't really have an example of bot here, but you could see how easy. You can take off the lower thing and use it as a helmet. It's got just these really, really great parts for $20. It's just fantastic. So I had to find a new. Oh, and this is really cool because of the way it transforms. It has a drop down in the back. That's where his head folds into whenever he's transforming. So his old head looked like this, and it basically goes down in there. So I'm going to replace that head, but that right there, you could probably mount a little, you can make it almost like a little a throne or something there for a pilot, which I thought would be really, really cool. So I figured all that out. And then I got some different options for heads. What I really liked was this one. This comes from the larger scale Lightyear toys. I can't remember his buddy in Lightyear. I thought that looked way cooler than that head. So I'm going to probably use that one. I've also got a basic Lightyear helmet, which I think kind of looks cool as well. I've got a slightly smaller one, which might be a better scale than the large one. So you can see the large one's a little bit too large, but we'll see. I'll just kind of mount it on there. And then that's it. I'm going to reassemble this all and paint it and see if it comes out. I think it will. I think it's going to be fantastic. What I'm going to do is, I don't know if I'm coming back on the same video with the painted thing. We'll see if it's edited in. You'll see it. If not, I'll come back with a reveal of the painted one. I don't know if I'm going to customize that one right now or not. I'm going to see how this one goes, and then I'll learn a lot, and then I can take that one apart and mess with it. So fantastic. I love these guys so much. $20. Really, really cool. I'll link to them in my Amazon list so you can buy one if you want. Okay, so I'm doing kind of two videos at one time here. I did the Tyrannosaurus. If you haven't seen that, it's coming up, or if you've already seen it, you know that I just used a basic goopy mud wash on this and still kind of cleaning it up. On the robot guy here, as you can see, I kind of did some just little extra toys. I threw some of the mud on there. I'm still wiping them down, so they're still dirty, but you can see how much the details pop out. Just really, really fun. You can see how wet it is. It's still wet. It'll still smudge and stuff like that. So what I've done is I've taken the bot apart. I painted it with some of these Warhammer paints, Citadel paints, and I got to be honest, I've used them before. Used a lot of Citadel paints. These are kind of crap. I don't know if they've turned to crap or what. This is an airbrush paint, so that's just used for almost a wash, but the base is just kind of crap. Then again, my basic, my primer could have been crappy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did to this guy. I'm going to take that mud, I'm going to pour it all over this stuff, and just smudge it in like that, wipe it down, and see how it looks. As you can see, you don't have to get perfect. What is our motto on this channel? Our motto on this channel is it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be done. Because if I do not complete things, they'll just sit around forever. So I like to just get stuff done. This tail part, for example, I'm never going to use it like that, so I'll actually fold it up as it is in the I can't do it with one hand. Sorry. I'll actually fold that up like that, and then use it. So any parts like that, I will. The hands came out fine. Like I said, see, it's kind of just a messy silver. It doesn't matter because once you goop them up, they're really, really just gonna it's just gonna look cool, like a cool, gross silvery color. This just helps it get done real fast. The head's cool. I really like this helmet. So once you dirty it up like that, I'll probably go in and touch it up a little bit. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna go dirty it up. I'll come back with the assembled bot. Okay, so this sometime later, I did a quick silvering of this guy, really rough, just throw it on there. A really rough dirt, used a really dark blue. That's all I had was some blue, but I think it's still a fun color. You can see definitely where, like inside there and stuff, I need to touch up or whatever, but this gives you an idea of what I'm going for. It's just a really simple, fun thing to do. I used some different hands. These are hands from the gargoyles. I used a different head. This is a Lightyear head. It got a little messed up, but I was able to attach it where it can still move a little bit, so that's good. It can still be posed pretty well. I took off the front lion thing here, or sorry, what is that, a wolf or something? So I'll be reusing that. I'm also going to reuse this. So I'll probably trim off this little extra bit here on the front. I might use these little divots here to attach some greebles, I don't know. But I'm basically going to make it just, just a crazy looking robot. I'll probably, when you get it really dark like this, I'll probably go ahead and take some silver dry brush, just some basic silver, maybe Warhammer paint or something else, and dry brush over it. It stays tacky for quite a while. I mean, this is probably weeks later, and I leave them to dry for a while. I got to cut that one off, and that one came off. It's still kind of tacky because oil paint does that. It's kind of a nice thing though, because you can continue to mess with it. What's funny is I forgot this. I found this part, and I don't remember where it went. So I don't know what's going on there. I want to look at this one and see. I think it's a waist part. I don't know what this is. And he seems fine. I think he still moves, and he might be dried. But the arms still move. Everything's still clackety-clackety and stuff, so that's good. I got it really, really dirty, so some of it's going to be really tight. So what I'll probably do is I'm going to go and touch this up. Before I go, I thought it'd be funny to take this thing off here, because you can see how it pops out. Because I'm not going to use it in a transformation form. I'm going to do a similar thing to him, and I'm actually going to paint this guy. This is a NFL robot I bought, years ago. He has his little NFL helmet. So I did a little review or kind of a little update on my channel. I'll link the original if you want to see more of him. But basically, it was just a little $10 robot. From what I understand, they had a NFL bot like they would use in advertising. You might remember this. Fox Sports used it, and they made these toys and stationery and posters and stuff with them. And I went in half-price books, which I really miss. It's one of the few things I miss from Tech's ass. Went half-price books, and they had this in a baggie for $10. He's a really good size, so I'll probably take that head, which is a nice looking head. Let me get my light going in here a little better. Nice looking head and everything like that. Probably trim off the front, because if you picture it without that grill on the front, that little rebreather there is really cool looking. They actually just with the grill on the front, that's a nice looking head. Probably silver this all up too dirty. I'm just the same, just making a plain silver robot. And then what I thought would be really cool is after I get it dusted, of course, is take these wolf parts or whatever you call it. Oh, that's where it goes. It goes in behind the wolf. I painted it for no reason. So put the two for his shoulder blades, because his normal shoulder blades are massive, like Space Marine size. And you can see they can just sit right in there. So it's a really neat mounting they did. They kind of accidentally built this really sturdy robot. You can find these on eBay, I think, for pretty cheap. So great for customs. Just silver them up. I got his hand somewhere, but I'll probably change out the hand. Take these off, replace them with these guys, on the shoulders there. And I don't know if I'll come back and have him in the video. What I've been doing lately is doing longer videos like this, where it's a step that I take over, a few weeks or a week or two, because I'm doing one longer video per week. I'm trying that out for the rest of the year to see how that does, and I'm really enjoying it. It's giving me a little more time to build stuff, and instead of being so rushed all the time. It'd be fun to paint the musculature looking stuff, like bloody, or like an actual muscle looking. That would be kind of fun. See the venting is the back. All this is really nice. Really nice little detail. I really like this bot. It'd be kind of cool to buy a couple more off of eBay. He doesn't stand up very well, but once you get him in the spot, he finally does. And then, so I'll have this guy, stay there. this guy, and again, these are just 20 bucks on Amazon. And this guy, and they'll all have this kind of weird silver look, which, you know, once you get it really done, it's really, really nice. I got some black oil paint. Finally, I ran out, so I went and just got some black. And that will just, I'll probably actually just avoid using the acrylic at all. I think I was just using it to darken it, but now I got it just a solid black, so I'll just literally squirt the oil on there and wipe it off. It'll make it really, really dark, but it'll also make it really, really pop, and then you can highlight over it like if you saw in my Tyrannosaurus Rex toy video. So anyway, that's where I'm at now. I should come back in just a minute here in a second. Well, for you it'll be instant, but and have this kind of done. Okay, so it's been a while. It's been a couple weeks or so. I have been working on a million other projects and stuff. This was just a fun thing to kind of illustrate what I was talking about. This is, I'm sure I forgot what I filmed in the earlier parts of the video. This is the original, one of the original animal bots. You can get these for like 20 bucks on Amazon, $22 or something like that. This was just an experiment for some different washing techniques, playing around with some stuff. So it's not, you know, it's not like a display bot or something like that. He actually has some of the Gorilla glue seeped out of his neck. Where I glued it, I had to glue it on there with a really good glue, and I glued it with the Gorilla Glue, and I forgot to check, and it leaked out. But you can see that I started off with like a bluish color. Didn't really like it, so used some more black. There's still really, really messy areas. I used a basic putty to fill in the holes. Or see, and I even missed some of it. The fill in the holes where the screws went. I didn't even, what you would normally do is fill it up and then sand it down. You would do all that before painting. I don't really care if it looks perfect. I'm just screwing around on this guy. I used some hands from the gargoyles. Everything is nice and clacky. What I'd eventually like to do to get this done, if I was to finish anything else about it, or actually try to make a cool looking bot about it, I'd have to remove the Gorilla Glue, of course. I'd have to put kind of like a cuff, a wrist cuff around his hand, so it's not just this bare thing here, or take it out, drill it in, and push it in more. Probably fill in the gaps a bit more smoothly, but again, it's supposed to look like just a gross old beat up robot. So if you have, you know, you have like blemishes on it, it doesn't matter. Like for example, you can see kind of here in this metal part, and this is my favorite style of gunmetal, just a basic silver. I typically use this stuff. This is my favorite, the chrome, I think it is. Where is it here? Where is flat aluminum is one I use, and then I have a chrome one as well, I thought. No, anyway, there's one that's chrome. I use that flat aluminum and then just use an oil color. In this case, I've been using black. As you can see, it's evidenced from my hands. He still remains really nice and clacky and stuff. He's not super posable because it is in the end supposed to be able to transform and stuff. But you can put him in some pretty cool poses, and I actually like how the transformation makes his leg have a rotation above the knee and stuff, and so you have a rotation here, so you can really do some pretty, you know, you can really turn his legs far out, you know, like that if you wanted to. It has clacks almost everywhere, so meaning that click click click, so that it's real exact. The tail here thing, you could remove all that if you wanted to and just leave it with just that piece. You can replace all that. As you can see, some of it is still even wet. You can get these really, really cool crackle finish effects. So getting something like this and experimenting with, see, you can still see some of the gaps there. Getting a little cheap bot like this to kind of experiment with is a really good way to get better at washes and what you like. The head, for example, is almost a soft rubber type of head from the Lightyear series, the larger ones. So when you paint it and when you coat it really in anything, it gets this really kind of goopy feeling. But if you take advantage of it, you can get a really nice, cool effect there. I'll probably paint the eyes a red like I had before. Again, I'll have to remove that Gorilla Glue. I'll probably clean up, not the seam lines necessarily. I don't care that there are seam lines in most things because there are seam lines in real life, tanks and stuff like that. But, you know, kind of not clean them up a little bit, but tighten them up a little bit. I would love to add some more greebles and stuff. But it's just you can see what you can do with this little 20-something dollar bot. You can turn them into something like that. It's tons of fun. Really, really cool. So anyway, I thought you guys, gals, and others would like to see what I've been working on. That's what I've been messing with. And I'll be doing tons more of this stuff now as well, because now I do one video a week instead of two. So it gives me so much more time just to mess around, to learn what I like to do, etc., etc. There you go. Not bad. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.